Okay, so oh, this is so good. Okay. You know how the quartering and the other like neckbeard grifter types like him like to say that new movies that are coming out are going to go woke and they're going to go broke and they're going to do badly and so on, right? Um well, someone linked this one in my Discord, and it's a video by The Quartering. Of course, it's always The Quartering. And it came out on September 27th, so a little bit before the movie came out. And now the movie has come out. And we know what actually happens in the movie. And The Quartering made a video called Venom Will Come Out in Venom Let There Be Carnage. The come out implying coming out as gay. So let's find out why The Quartering made this video, and let's find out why. I mean, obviously, those that have seen Venom know that Venom does not come out as gay in that movie. Venom Let There Be Carnage, the new one that just came out, I mean, is the one we're discussing. Of course, you already know that doesn't happen. However, let's see The Quartering's reasoning for this and find out how hilariously wrong he was.
Hey there, good looking. I've been suppressing my urge to have sex with other men my entire life. I get a little tingle every time I think about skewering another man with my giant venomous dick. But I've grown tired of hiding from the world.
This is a good intro.
Today's the day that I've finally come out of the closet.
What the hell are you?
We are horny.
Okay, now they're making it cringe.
I don't know.
The intro was so funny at the start, like it was actually pretty funny, and then he has to do like the little Venom logo with the LGBT flag in it and everything. Did he change up his background? Why has he got a bunch of planets and space shit now? And pumpkins. I mean, the pumpkins make sense, but I don't know.
Oh, I'm starting to wonder if this like fake woke baiting is a new way for movies to get press. I've talked about at length before that, you know, I am a big fan of Venom, you know, Venom, Spider-Man, Carnage, all these I grew up with in the fighting games too.
Oh, I forgot. This guy just rambles all day. We're gonna have to turn up. We're gonna have to turn him up to like 1.25. I'm sorry, guys.
Cool.
He just rambles.
Just really, really love the characters. And now in the sequel, Venom: Let There Be Carnage, the director has decided to queer bait, essentially, saying that Venom's coming out and love affair between Eddie and the alien symbiote in Let There Be Carnage. The film director has now pointed to a scene that is sort of an LGBTQIA kind of festival. As a moment, Venom has his being out moment. This is very dangerous queer baiting, I would argue, because if it is what I think it is, and it's treated as kind of a joke, or if they treat it like a joke, it's not going to go over well. And I just don't know why these movies can't stand on their own, you know, be good on their own merits. But here we are. Andy Serkis says a particular scene in Venom.
All right, I'm gonna spoil what actually happens, and the only reason I know what actually happens is because I looked it up and did my research a little bit before stream to know what actually happens in the movie and what they're referring to. Basically, for those that don't know what Venom is an alien symbiote. It's sort of like a parasite that latches onto you, and it has its own personality. It can speak. It gives you, superpowers, and you have to be like a compatible host to even survive the symbiote being on you for too long. And essentially, Eddie Brock, the main character, gets parasitized by Venom, and Venom and him have like back and forth. They yell at each other. They argue. They have, shit goes down. And in Venom Let There Be Carnage, spoiler alert, they have a falling out. And Carnage leaves him and goes to another body, and takes a new host. And Eddie and Venom are like separated, and they're pissed off at each other. But they end up, apparently getting back and forgiving each other in the end and reuniting and yada yada yada. And I guess Andy Serkis talked about that in a Hollywood Reporter article, and The Quartering and the reactionaries interpreted that as being Venom will be coming out as gay in the movie Venom Let There Be Carnage, which is, of course, fucking ridiculous.
Venom Let There Be Carnage is a coming out party for the alien symbiote whose relationship with Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock is at the center of the movie. In a recent interview with Uproxx, the Venom sequel director spoke about the film's rave scene, which he shared had originally been set in the carnival but evolved thanks to stars Hardy's relationship with rapper Little Sims, who also appears in the movie. She actually had made a song, unbeknownst to her, called Venom that connected very much with the first movie. And so Tom got in touch with her and said the song kind of became the focus. When the director shared that Hardy and co-writer Kelly Marcel had wanted the scene to be a coming out event, well, Tom and Kelly were always about Venom coming out and going to a party that was very sort of an LGBTQIA festival. Really, I'd call it. And his coming out party, basically. This is Venom's coming out party.
If you're wondering why they call it Venom's coming out party in their quotes, it's because in the Marvel universe, most characters, Marvel doesn't really do what DC does and have a lot of the characters have secret identities, and they have they hide who they really are, right? They Superman, Batman, they don't tell anybody what their identities are, etc. They don't really do that in the Marvel universe. A lot of characters are just totally fine with their identities being public, except for, and this is pretty unique to Spider-Man. Spider-Man doesn't want his identity to be public, and that's like his thing. Look at his face, chat. My face or his face? Yeah, he looks terrified. Look at him. He looks like he's a deer who's just crossing the road and sees headlights coming at it. Look at him. That's the actual deer. That's the face every deer makes before it gets hit by a car. I'm not kidding. That is the face every deer makes a fraction of a second before they get hit by a car. Someone clip that. That needs to be an emote. That face needs to be an emote. The quivering, because he looks terrified. If you can get that face, he's got a good background to cut out too. He's behind like a very differently colored background. Someone who's good at Photoshop could easily clip that and make his face into an emote, and we can call it the quivering, or just quivering will be the name of the emote. Quiver, because people call him the quivering. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, Eddie Brock doesn't want people to know he's got a alien parasite living inside of him, so Venom kind of has to be a secret, and the idea was that, Venom would be revealing himself to the world, because in most of the Marvel universe, most superheroes, their identities are public. Everyone knows Captain America is Steve Rogers, everyone knows that Tony Stark is Iron Man, so on and so on, right? So yeah, that's the meme that they're going for, and they're doing it in a very cringy, kind of lib way, I guess you could say, but let's just watch The Quartering.
This is another perfect example of, Hollywood just being just the worst. Look, two men can have a deep affection for each other, love each other, be friends, be family, without also sleeping together. This is a thing that Hollywood is completely unable to do. Also with two female characters. When two female characters are strong, they must be sleeping together. And if they're not, then the internet literally gets mad about it. I'm not kidding. This shipping culture is why you get a lot of this. Now, what's it actually going to look like?
Okay, I admit, shipping culture is very cringy. I'm not going to lie. All right, I did it when I was a kid, when I watched shows that... particularly Adventure Time, I was around 11 or 12 at that time, and I was just getting into DeviantArt and stuff like that. I never made anything on it really, except for maybe a few little doodles that aren't even worth anything in regards to looking at. I was getting into DeviantArt, and I was really into Adventure Time. I was 11 or 12, and I would look at shipping drawings on that. But looking back in hindsight, God, shipping culture really is cringe. That's the one thing I'll give. I'll give them that. Shipping culture is cringe, but at the end of the day, I don't like how these people like to treat teenagers on the internet shipping fictional characters as being harmful. It's come on, really? This is what's harming us right now? This is what's harming society?
in the movie, I don't know. But the fact that, we're seeing this now is just like, can't we have something with just be a good movie without having to have all this? Oh, but Venom's cool, but he's also gay. When Asa confirmed if what he was implying was that Venom was not a straight.
Oh yeah, I've been thinking about getting a little like black background, sort of like a fuzzy, transparent, light black or gray background here. That would sort of like fizzle out along the edges for the chat as a background.
Alien symbiote, as was actually coming out, he responds, well, coming out, being out, before acknowledging that a line from the character points him to speaking for the other. What is interesting is that just like he says in the movie, we must stop this cruel treatment of aliens, he says. We all live on this ball of rock, and so inadvertently becomes kind of he's speaking for the other. He's speaking for the freedom of the other. The end of the interview, which features him speaking on the other Venom-related things, like star and friend Woody Harrelson's involvement in the character Carnage's impact on the film's coloring, Serkis responds to the statement by saying it's very obvious that Eddie and Venom are in love, by calling the relationship the movie's central love affair. Absolutely, they do love each other, and that's kind of at the center of the movie. It's a love affair, the central love affair.
I don't like when movies like this try to do that, but it's pretty clear what they're talking about here is the relationship between a human guy and the alien that literally lives inside of him. You know what I mean? Like, if you've gotten to the point where you're willing to accept this disgusting ooze alien that lives up your ass, basically, he kind of does. Where else does he come from? I'm pretty sure Venom like lives in his anal cavity, and then expands to envelop him. They're literally living in the same body. There's sort of like not a relationship in the way that we would normally consider a relationship to be a thing, but there's something going on there, I guess that's what they're getting at in this article, but they really seem like they were trying to make it be like, yeah, it's kind of an allegory for LGBT stuff. And it's like, oh, I guess, but it's a little on the nose, right? But obviously, now that we've heard what he believes is going on here, we can scroll down and see. I saw it yesterday. There was no gay stuff. Venom's coming out was him being seen in public and not hiding from people following a spat he had with Eddie and went off on his own. People thought he was wearing a costume and were cheering him on, and he felt accepted. The end. And then people are like, oh, that's not bad then. Glad to hear that. I'd pin this comment to the top and disable all the others if I could. And then there's some people from like a week ago before the movie came out or whatever, before they'd seen it, saying, can we just get some directors who actually read the comics just one time? I just love the fact that like the Quartering will make a video like this and he'll be ready. He'll put it out and he'll be like, this movie's going woke. It's going to destroy this movie. And then like a week later, he's wrong. Like the Shang-Chi thing is probably the biggest L he's taken in a while. What other L? I mean, I'm trying to think. He took an L on Captain Marvel. He took an L on Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, I believe. He's taken an L on Shang-Chi. I wouldn't be surprised if he shit-talked WandaVision. He probably took an L on that. I bet he took multiple L's on WandaVision when those came out. A lot of Marvel stuff. I imagine he complained about Black Panther. If he did, then that was an L too. He does this. No bullshit. The Quartering, or not the Quartering, Geeks and Gamers. They both have the same name. They always complain about this like popular thing having any wokeness in it, how it's gonna go broke, and then it comes out, they're wrong. They never acknowledge it again. She-Ra, that was a big L, and then it just goes down they just forget about it, and their fans forget about it too, and they never like have their fans calling them out like, hey, you were super wrong about this. Yeah. Joy Drillkill, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Over on Twitch. Anyway, I think it's hilarious that the Quartering made this video and was all like, this movie's gonna be ruined by the woke agenda. And then it turned out that none of what he said was going to happen actually happened, which is just perfectly in line with the Quartering's journalistic integrity. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell icon, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. and join my fan Discord, where you can hang out with me, watch movies with me. I game with people and stuff like that, and I even bring people on for debates if they want to argue with me. And of course, finally, you can donate, gift a sub, or just support me financially in any way over on my website, xanderhall.com/live, YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, or even through Patreon. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a good one.